everybody. Welcome to this week's session of Building Community. And I am here with a good friend, Maxwell Dabrowski, and he helps hypnotherapists, coaches, and entrepreneurs really create better impact, help more people, and create income without all the headaches and the overwhelm. So I love what he does. I love who he is and what he stands for online. So please help me welcome Maxwell Dabrowski. Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
hello. How y'all doing? Thanks for
We're
having me.
doing we're doing pretty good. So I want to know because everybody's going to want to know your backstory. So you were online and probably didn't have an easy time, and you saw that what's real and what's actual and what you can create is very different. So can you walk me through a little of that story? Because I see even in your postings and stuff that when you first came online, it wasn't what everybody was really saying, and you really had to figure that out by yourself. And I think that's what makes you want to help people that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, wow. Well, the journey started for me like when I was a lifeguard. I spent 10 years lifeguarding, saving lives, teaching kids swimming, all that stuff. And I think like a lot of people that get introduced to entrepreneurship, for me, someone brought me to a family meeting or a dinner party, and it turned out to be sign up for this MLM thing, right? So that was probably like 15 years ago, and I wasn't bought in. I was like, this feels weird, right? That was the first time when I was like became quite skeptical of trends and things online. And this was in person. I think it was like I don't want to name any companies, but it was just one of those, those old school marketing things. And my brother, my dad, they were like so bought into it. They're like, yes, let's do this, right? And for me, it was no, that something's not right with this. And so I started searching online, XYZ company, is it a scam? Right. And just by me kind of asking myself those questions, that's how I actually myself got introduced um, to entrepreneurship, to building an online business, because I have nothing against like I know a lot of amazing network marketers, MLM folks, but I just found watching some people I knew burn themselves out, reaching out and trying to convince their family and friends to sign up with them, that this isn't, it's not my cup of tea. For me, basically. It works for a lot of people, but in my book, it wasn't a thing. From the beginning, I was like, okay, I want to start my own thing and just get strangers into clients so that I can build those business relationships for instead of telling my family my whole life what I'm doing, right? I'm a very um, private person, right, for my personal stuff. And so that started me on the journey of building an online business. At the time, I had a marketing agency specifically for roofers that I built, helping them run their ads, get leads, and start putting roofs over people's heads. And so I did that. I was able to leave my job, build that business, and we, me and my partner at the time, we enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like that was it for me. Like I didn't really find pleasure in helping or talking to contractors every day, right? And so what ended up happening is around this is just like fast forward, right? I'm trying to get through like 15 years of a story in like
Okay,
a few
okay.
minutes, right? Yeah. Lot happened. I basically fast forward to that, the marketing agency for roofers was growing, but I didn't enjoy it. And then COVID happened. And so at this time, obviously, my fiance, my partner, Anya, she was a hypnotherapist, people coming in and out of our suite, for in-person sessions. And she never really jumped on the whole online thing, even though I was working online. She was marketing online, but getting in-person clients, right? And so what we ended up doing is when COVID happened in Canada, the restrictions were crazy. Like you can't enter people's, I'm sure in the States it was the same, right? It's like,
Yes,
it,
crazy.
yeah, it probably messed up a lot of hypnotherapists there too and coaches. And so she's like, okay, so can I start getting online clients? Right. And then with what I knew about growing local businesses, we started applying those things to the online space. Like her master trainer taught her how to do online, but she just never did it. She's kind of like old school. She just wanted to do in person. And so we started applying that. She started getting clients, leads online, and started just getting uncomfortable just starting the Zoom programs online out of like after like just doing it in person for the whole time, right? And so once we were able to get that going, a lot of people in our Vancouver area were like, "Hey, can you help me? Because I'm just sitting at home watching Netflix and getting fat, right?" And so she started teaching them as well because she has the certification for training people in hypnotherapy. And so that was another program that started. And then at that point, we're like, okay, I'm sick of going on the treadmill at the gym with a mask. All our friends moved to Mexico. And so then we ended up following them. And now we're here in Mexico and helping hypnotherapists around the world. So
I
that's
love
the
that. That
yeah.
that's such an amazing story. And you said some things that really stuck out to me because you said you weren't happy doing what you wanted to do, and you do love your privacy. So
Hmm.
I know that I'm a very private person, and some people just will air anything online, but people do want to know who we are, right? So that's why
Hmm.
my stories always have a little bit of me talking to someone else, so people can really gauge who I am, even if I'm not out there sharing,
Yeah.
my bloomies or something, right? So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I like that you said that because I don't think that a lot of people understand that we do need to have that separation in life, in business, that we do
Hmm.
need that personal time. We can't share all of that online, because I
Hmm.
do see you share things, but you're specific about what you share. And I think that's important to maintain that and to still have that sense of self where you can separate business and self. I
Yeah.
also love that you said that you really wanted to turn strangers into community and
Hmm.
build real relationships without, trying to sell them something all the time. Because
Yeah.
online space has really become, I have hundreds
Yeah.
of people in my inbox every day, not really asking me who I am or what I'm about or what I even do, and
Hmm.
based on something they see me post, trying to sell me something. And
Yeah.
I think that value piece is getting lost, that
Yeah.
people aren't about lost. So I love that you are about that value, that you really are
Hmm.
about connecting with people, finding out who they are and helping them serve in a real way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people online, it's not people's fault that they do that. They're like, these are just things, it's kind of like generational trauma. It just gets passed on, from one kind of coach teaches a client this, and then they teach that someone else that, and it goes on. And a lot of people miss the whole client acquisition process. And they get a person into their audience and then they sell them right away. But then there's these micro commitments that need to take place to build that buyer, right? Just like on sales calls, it's like somebody might come on the call, kind of maybe wanting to work with you, maybe not. And in a good discovery call process, that same thing has to take place. We have to build that person up, right? Build that trust, build that know, build that like, right? Because when we do that, then they want to enroll. And so a lot of folks I see online have been misguided, I feel, with just get a lead, sell them like instantly. Like not everyone that enters the audience is ready in the spot, right? It's like that's what a lot of hypnotherapists see. They get a referral, the person signs up, right? That know, like, and trust has already been built up for them because of word of mouth. We need to synthetically build that same effect of that know, like, and trust through our content, through showing up. And exactly what you said there, that it's like we we as the creators, we get to pick and choose what we share, right? Like I always tell my clients that what we want to do is like be selective, control what you can control. Doesn't mean, yeah, people need to know what you ate for breakfast or everything, but actually be selective in what you share, right? Because that's really like you're the king or the queen of your castle, I always say.
I like that. And I do think that what you're saying is true. I think that a lot of people, I help people with health, right? And
Hmm.
there are these copy and paste templates out there where people just say, here, you don't need to create this, just here, take my templates and add your stuff in. And a lot of times they don't. They might just copy and paste it. Like the other day, I got a message from someone asking me, do I need leads, 15 to 20 people, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And right behind that, I got another one. So they were two
Mm-hmm.
different people.
Yeah.
But if you read the messages, you could see they were the exact same. And
Yeah.
they were working for the same coach. So they really are just copying and pasting it. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be the brightest bulb on the tree to figure that
No.
out. That all
Yeah.
those messages coming in, and that says desperation,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how good
Yeah.
could they be at what they do if they're desperate to keep sending those messages? Because if I'm
Yeah.
going to buy from someone, I want to hear something about that person in that message,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Totally.
Or I
Absolutely.
want them to at least ask me what's important to me in my business. I
Mm-hmm.
see you online. Hey, what do you do exactly?
Yeah.
Why did you
Totally.
start doing this? Something. So
Yeah.
that you need that connection, that give and take. And a lot of people are just pushing, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the value that I offer, and that's it. And a lot of those people, unfortunately, that's what they've been trained. They paid a lot of money
Yeah.
for that bit of advice, and then they're very disappointed when it doesn't work and they haven't received a return on investment, right? So with so many people coming online, and now that TikTok is closed, there's going to
Yeah.
be even more people coming in, right? I think that it's hard to find people that you can trust. I think people are very desensitized. And for people like you who really, said, okay, this isn't for me. I really want to do this. This is what I'm good at. Let me help who I can. And other people that are just really out here for the money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hypnotherapists, whether you're a coach or an entrepreneur, of course we need to make money. We are giving value. We do want to get paid. We're not out here
Absolutely.
just giving free advice all the time, right? But there does need to be some integrity in what we're doing out here. So people
Mm-hmm.
say that your message should be clear. And I don't think people are buying the message as much as they're buying who we are, because it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't matter if I help with weight loss. It wouldn't matter if I help with Crohn's disease. If
Yeah.
someone doesn't like how I present myself online, they're not going to
Yeah.
buy from me no matter whether they need that help or not.
Yeah.
They have to have that connection to who I am as a person, personality, integrity, because you can kind of see that. I think that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
Totally. Something that I always say as well to our clients is like, people don't buy coaching or hypnotherapy. They buy coaches or hypnotherapists. Like they buy the person. And messaging, it's not about just attracting everybody, right? It's about actually repelling certain people because there's certain people that, let's face it, like you wouldn't want to work with. So why would you want them in your audience or like to resonate with your message? It's just about making it specific to that person that we know we can help and that they need the help. And that's it, right? But a lot of people, they're like, okay, messaging, they're trying to serve and please everybody, but it's the more you can be authentically yourself and specific, the better the people you're going to get to your audience.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
People are often confused because I don't make a lot of offers online. So as someone who helps people, would you suggest that I do? I worked with someone in the past, and they
Hmm.
kept putting book a call at the end of every single
Hmm.
one of my
Yeah.
stories. And I didn't like that because that wasn't me. But I'm
Hmm.
not that. I have groups and people that I cater to in
Yeah.
different on different social media platforms, and there I'll share my offer, and if somebody wants it, they do,
Yeah.
but I don't throw it in their face like this is disappearing in 24 hours, buy it now.
Right. Yeah.
That's just not who I am. And I had a hard time with the
Hmm.
sale in the beginning, the being online, like your
Hmm.
girlfriend, your fiance, because I'm used to being in person too.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, do you have any advice that you could give to those people? Because you have a lot of people that are really in health
Hmm. Oh yeah.
online now more. Not
Yeah.
even not even because of COVID or because they want to make money. I think that they just want to work for themselves. They're doing it anyway.
Hmm.
They want, maybe the love is lost a little bit because there's always a lot of politics in health, and
Yeah.
other dynamics. And I think they really do like that connection, that bedside, that interpersonal relationship, more so
Hmm.
than working from someone else, and that they
Hmm.
feel that they don't have so many restrictions on how they show
Yeah.
up, and they can really just help. So,
Exactly, right? Because it's not just about like, you know, like if every like nobody signs up to become a hypnotherapist or get certified or a coach just, because they want to be make $1 trillion, right? Like if they wanted that, then they would go be like a hedge fund person. They do it mainly because they want a comfortable living and also because they want to impact more people. They get that buzz when a client has like a breakthrough with
mm,
them, right? And so it's very normal. I'd say probably like 50% of the clients that come to us, they struggle at the like when they come to us with the whole front end of the business, right? Of actually um, making offers, putting it out there, selling themselves, right? And again, they just don't have all the information. Like something that a lot of people, something like a big takeaway for folks on here that are listening that I recommend is just understanding like we don't do funnels, right? It's just creating a reel, getting inquiries, right? At the beginning, like for up until like 10K per month, you don't need funnels and systems and all that stuff, right? But just that concept of a funnel is super important because a lot of people, what they do, they start making offers every day on their Facebook profile or their Instagram profile, like book with me, 5 spots left, stuff like that every day. But that's not the place to do it, right? Like you want to get the whole purpose of the profile is to get people into the audience. Then there's the mid funnel or middle of the funnel, which would be like an email list or a Facebook group. That is the place where that is like the next little micro step, right? Like we talked at the beginning, people go from first encounter, sell, but it's really we need to break up that process into smaller pieces. The people who what we can do on the profile, for example, is at the bottom be like, hey, if you like this, jump on my email list or join my group where we talk more about this. On the in the middle of the funnel, that's where we can make those offers and those promotions and sell ourselves because we have like a tighter tribe. Those people are we know they're interested because they joined the list or the group or that next step, and then we can go on to book those discovery calls, right? And so like a lot of people are skipping all that, but that is essential to not only getting more clients, but also feeling congruent and feeling good about doing it. Because we
yeah.
know, okay, these people, we have like a green light went up. They join my list, like they want more info. So I'll show that to them, right?
I think that's important for people to understand because I see more sales in Reels than anywhere else,
Yeah.
and I think they do need to reach out because honestly speaking, I've been on a call with someone and it's like those little 15-minute calls that everybody offers in the
Hmm.
beginning.
Yeah.
And I found that it wasn't really enough time to answer any questions. So I was getting on
Hmm.
another call and another call and
Yeah.
just laughing with each other about what was really going on and do they really want to help? Hey, I see you're here again. what
Yeah.
what didn't I answer the first time? How can I
Yeah.
help you? Where do you want to start? Right.
Uh-huh.
And those people were people that really went all in. Once that connection was built, those people were people who really went all in and stayed the course and got those results, you
Yeah.
know? And then I've had calls with people who want to nickel and dime me to death, and that's the only interest they have is
Yeah.
how much does it cost to work with you, not what
Hmm.
and I try to steer
Yeah.
them away from that because how important it is to be healthy, how much you're
Yeah.
going to
Good.
spend on that revolving door in and out of the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And those are people that are more that their value system for how much they're worth
Hmm.
isn't there yet,
Yeah.
you know. So if you don't think you're worth that money, why would you pay me, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm not willing to invest in myself, why would I invest in a coach, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people,
Exactly.
and I don't take that personal, you know. I used
Hmm.
to in the beginning,
Hmm.
like, don't you know how good I am? But
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm here. I'm the best. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't, because I do understand that. One of my greatest revelations came when um I think I was at that point where I was tired, where of doing all those calls and hearing all those
Hmm.
questions and those objections, and I knew they needed it,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
someone called me, and I think she was like a 3 out of 10 that she
Hmm.
she wanted help, or she didn't even think she could do it. And I said, well,
Yeah.
if you don't think you could do it, can I ask you why you're here, or why you think I
Yeah.
should help you?
Yeah.
If you've already decided you're going to fail,
Uh-huh.
why would you want to invest money if you're so sure? I said, so
Yeah.
you need to think about if this is really important to you, and if it is, get back to me.
Yeah.
But I don't want
And
to waste your time or mine. And
yeah.
just because I was so adamant with her about that, look, I don't want to take your money if this is something you don't want.
Yeah.
She did call me back the next day, and
Yeah.
she worked with me for a while and got those results. But some people will, some people don't have that same radar, I guess,
Hmm.
because you and I both know there are people online that really, really do have integrity and
Hmm.
want that value, like yourself. I like to believe I'm one of those people too.
Yeah.
And if there are some people we just can't help for whatever the
Hmm.
reason, that they
Yeah.
might be a better fit. I've recommended people to other people because I didn't feel it was a good fit, but thought they would be
Hmm.
perfect for a friend or someone else that
Yeah.
is in my way
Totally.
well, and said, you know what? I think you'd really be great together with this person. Why don't you give her a call? I'm sure she can help you. So, but not everybody has that integrity. Some people will work with someone even if it's not a good fit. And those are the
Yeah.
people that you're always chasing
Hmm.
to do the work, right? To get the
Yeah.
results,
Yeah.
and they will say, like, that you're not doing your job because they're not all in on themselves. So do you
Totally.
have those experiences where you got to be after them to do what you know they need to be do?
We've had them. Absolutely. That's why, like, now I always say that the way you start is the way you finish. If it's a pain in the butt to get a client to enroll, that it's going to be a pain in the butt to work with them. And so something we like to do to really change that, we've been through that with our practice, data hypnosis. Like, it was a lot of that. It's just like babysitting and all that stuff, clients, and it's just like it's not sustainable. That causes you to burn out, right? And so what we did is we created obviously many different kind of systems, but systems that we can get many more people that hear our message into our ecosystem, right? Into our DMs, reaching out with the word, for example, change or info, right? Because when we have that flow of people, then we can actually be selective. The problem for a lot of hypno coaches is that they don't have that flow of people coming in. And so it's hard for them to be selective. And so when a client comes around and they might not be a good fit, but they need the money and they want to help somebody, they enroll them, right? And it creates that downward spiral. And so what we really like to do is when we get inquiries coming in, is really take our time and vet them, right? Find out why they're reaching out, what's their goal, what's missing for them, and then how serious are they about actually creating the change, right? And obviously some people will say, "Oh, I'm not a 3," or "I'm not a 10, I'm a 3," and they will be like, "All right, well, check out this resource, come back to us later," right? Something like that. Like we really want to create more hoops for people to show how serious they are about the change because then when we get them on a call, they are just much more they're the right fit, right? But it's a two-step thing because first we got to get the flow of people, the right people, and then vet them as clients, right? Just as a
Do you?
bonus for the just as
I'm
a
sorry.
bonus for the listeners here, something that we sometimes do as well. If we're not sure about a person, but they have all the lights, but we're like, something up, like in the vetting process, we'll do a 10-minute call with that person just as a triage, just like with the hospital system, right? There's a triage
Mm.
and then there's an appointment with the doctor. We also want to do that with our businesses, right? So 10 minutes, free chat just to feel them out, and then do the discovery call, which is also free, right? That way we can create a little bit more, even more vetting, which ends up being a much better client and easier enrollment. Does that make sense?
I like that. I like that a lot. Would
Hmm.
you say though, because you are giving value on the front end,
Hmm.
because this is what I really want to convey to other people, because you are giving people on the value, like they're um I'm in one of your groups, and
Hmm.
I've
Yep.
responded to those,
Those things.
confident or commit
Yeah.
things, and I've gotten something that I can look at and see if it's a good
Hmm.
fit for where I'm at in my business, right? So, do
Hmm.
you find that more people, when you're showing them the value and how this could work for them, that they're quicker to sign up without even getting on the call, or do you feel like you're always having that call and trying to convince them? What do you think? Like, if there are some people that will say, I just want in, I don't care what it costs, I need your help, I'm struggling in my business, right? They know
Hmm.
what's going on. Then there's those people where you give them that value, or that whatever it is that you've
Hmm.
made for them, and they still want to get on 2 calls, 3 calls. Oh, I'm really not sure.
Hmm.
So do
Yeah.
you feel that having them reach out first and saying, yes, I want help, now they've raised their hands,
Hmm.
that it turns out better in the onboarding process, or worse?
It does. It does. But with the whole lead magnet thing and getting people raising their hands, where most people mess up is that they give everything, just everything away, right? And we want to give value, but we don't want to give the whole pie. We want to give a piece of the pie, right? And more so than just giving away things, we want to share insight and show examples of past clients. Because the purpose of that lead magnet is to get the person to realize that, okay, this helps, but then they need to see that, okay, this isn't the full thing. I need to hire this person, right? Where most people mess up is that they give, it's not that they give too much, but they give everything, like the recipe to the pie, and then the person doesn't need to hire them, right? We want to give an important piece, that an important takeaway, and then get that person at the end of that adding a call to action. If you want the whole thing, message me, right? Like that's an important piece. And something to answer your earlier not question, but a comment you made, Andra, is when we get those situations, right? Like person jumps on a call and they put a three, that is those conversations we can't have with people. That is what needs to go in our content because we, not just the lead magnets, but content and our whole front of the business. The purpose of that is to build our buyers. People are always looking for that dream client. Where's that whale, right? Let me get that person in. But if we do marketing the smart way, like the smart coaches, it's about building our audience or conditioning them, right? So all those conversations that we can't have with a person, like why'd you put a three? We would want to make that into a share with our audience. Be like, hey, somebody put this, this 3 out of 10, and I know I can't help that person because that person needs to be a 10 out of 10 if they want the change. Boom. That would be a content for the day. Like we're documenting the journey, right? Where
I like
most
that.
people, where most people kind of mess up is they're constantly trying to educate their audience, but the audience, the reason they jump on social media isn't because they want to get educated. They want to be entertained, right? Social media is a form of them relaxing or numbing a little bit. And so the way we can entertain is sharing and documenting our own journey with our clients, with our process, with everything. So, yeah.
I love that. So we are gonna end this. Is there any great insights that you think you could leave the audience with? And I want you to share where they can find you on Facebook or Instagram, where you are, so if they want to
Hmm.
connect, they could absolutely do that, okay?
You betcha. I would say probably to wrap this up, the insight would be that less is more. The whole online space, there's so many different things. There's a million things that work, right? There's also a million things that don't. And it's really important to kind of self-reflect, like take time, go for a walk in nature, and like really feel like how do I want to design my business? How do I want to design my life? Because when we start asking the right questions like that, then we're all the noise kind of dissipates and then we can actually focus on less and get more, right? So that's probably the one of the biggest things I learned moving to Mexico is that going for walks and not being in my business all the time, but actually reflecting has helped me scale mine more than anything because I get a step back from things, right? So that's a little homework for everyone listening is to go for walks and really ask yourself like the important questions. Yeah, and then where to find me? We have a Facebook group called Evolving Leaders for hypnotherapists and coaches that want to grow, and Instagram, it's Maximilian Dabrowski. So yeah, this was fun. Thanks a
I
lot,
mean,
my
I
friend.
so appreciate what you do out there, and your honesty is refreshing, you know. I love that you're reflecting and you're doing better. I try to step back much, much more. I'm shutting things
Yeah,
down at 6 o'clock now. I don't care what I'm doing.
nice.
Um,
Yeah, so
because I
important.
think that you have to need that, I was showing up as like, "Grr," and
Just
I
that.
don't want
Hey.
I don't want to be
Yeah,
that person. How can I help you? You know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to be Nurse Ratched out here. So I really appreciate your honesty, and I think a lot of people connect with that rare raw honesty. I think a lot of
hmm
people are missing that in the online space and in their business.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So thank you so
absolutely.
much for
You're
coming. It was
welcome.
a pleasure
Yeah.
having you. And to the audience, have a great day and welcome. And thank you again, Maxwell Dabrowski.